What happened there?
All I did is I was on the radio, 50,000 watt station, right, prime time. I would flip on the switch and say, for 5 minutes, I'd tell them what was on my mind. Then I'd say, now it's your show. And people would call in and ask me questions about their personal health. And for an hour or two, I would answer those questions for years, day after day, month after month, year after year. And, you know, I learned a lot about how people are suffering, and it really motivated me, you know, to help them find the solutions to that suffering.
So you've been giving health advice for a while now.
I have, yeah, for 35 years.
Wow. And what sparked that health journey for you? Did you have something traumatic?
You know, I appreciate you asking, and, you know, I hope you don't mind me sharing something. You know, it's a little, I guess, raw, but I was homeless, and my auntie and my uncle, I was homeless by choice. I just want to let you know, it wasn't so nice at home. You know, my dad drank, he was violent, my mom put up with it, and I didn't like her putting up with it. And when I tried to stop it, they both were unhappy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was not wanted, so I made myself gone. Well, my aunt and uncle heard about that, and they invited me to come and live with them in Northern California, up in nature, you know? And within 6 months, my auntie had died.
Damn.
After showing me what love was, after giving my own room, after giving me a car to drive, after buying me clothes that weren't from Value Village and had been worn by someone else first. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was amazing. And then she died. And the doctors who my uncle hired said that she died because at that time, microwaves were new. She was microwaving her dinners. What were called TV dinners were very popular. Fast food was very popular. Like they had the McDonald's Supper Club. I mean, it was just crazy how they were pushing this processed food on people. And my aunt, who wanted to spend time with her kids, not go shopping and cooking and cleaning and doing dishes and all that stuff, she wanted to be with her kids, not just serving her kids. And so she chose all those conveniences. And she was on the edge, the cutting edge of the people who suffered because of them. And I was so angry at that food that killed her that I never wanted to see anyone else's Aunt Judy die again.
Wow.
And I began to study things that other people didn't study. I read a book called, you know, Silent Spring, written by Rachel Carson, that many people might or might not be aware of. And it alerted me to the fact that the chemicals in our food were killing us. And that just 100 years ago, there were 0 chemicals in our food. And today, less than 1% of food that we consume does not have chemicals.
Wow.
Less than 1%.
That's so low. That's unreal. I remember going to Burger King growing up with my dad. It was one of my favorite memories, but we had no idea we were kind of killing ourselves, you know what I mean?
I remember wanting to ride to McDonald's so I could steal some fries out of each bag before they got home, you know, and my brothers and sisters never knew that there were 4 fewer fries in each bag, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all grew up with those, you know, those Slurpees at 7-Eleven and, you know what I mean?
The Frosty at Wendy's.
And, you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, man, they would put the smell into the neighborhood, you know? You couldn't drive a block without smelling it, you know? It would draw you in.
Yeah.
So we have these instincts as humans, you know, imagine that we're, you know, living 10,000 years ago and we're looking for food and we look out on the horizon and what do we see? We see yellow or orange or blue or red. What is that? That's food, right? That's food. And our minds know it and we know it instinctively that we get there and we will be nourished. You know what they did? Look at every sign at McDonald's and Burger King: red, orange, yellow, and blue. The colors that our brains associate with nourishing us and making us healthy, they've stolen and tricked our minds into craving foods that do not look like the colors on their signs. There's no food that looks like the color on their signs.
Yeah, good point. It's all processed.
But we see it with our brain and we associate it with eating, and then we go and we take what is not. It's the ultimate bait and switch.
Yeah, a lot of them use red. In-N-Out, McDonald's, KFC. Wow. That's crazy.
Yellow,
They're really good at the
orange,
marketing.
red. Yeah.
They know the subconscious marketing
do.
behind it, and they're using it to their advantage.
Absolutely.
And it's so cheap and quick, you know?
The only way they make money is by saving money,
Right.
you know? So, yeah.
And they're tied to big pharma. A lot of the investors in big food are investors in big pharma.
Well, let's face it, if one product that you sell to make money leads them to another product that you sell to make money, isn't that good for business? And that's why people ask me, what do you think about free enterprise? So I said, well, it's not free. No freedom is free. All freedoms have to be fought for. They need to be protected. They need to be defended, and they need to be practiced. And if you don't practice your freedom, it will be taken away from you.
Yeah.
It will. And so if you stop having freedom of choice of your food, less than 1% of the food now is organic. Less than 1% of the food that we eat can be considered healing food. And the rest of it actually is a burden on our body. And so I have a philosophy that 95% of the suffering that is happening is not a symptom, okay? It's not a symptom of a disease or an underlying condition. It's a symptom of our societal eating habits. It's a symptom of hydrogenated oils. It's a symptom of food colorings. It's a symptom of preservatives. It's a symptom of all of the processes that go into creating fake food. And when you look at food, the original fast food was food you could pull off of a tree. And now it's something you drive through and order from a clown,
Yeah.
And I don't mean the person on the other end of the microphone.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack in the Box.
It's crazy. So that being said, what diet have you ultimately landed on? I know you've experimented with many of them.